Welcome to the Spirit Sessions podcast. I'm your guide, Katie Silcox, bringing you your weekly self-love soundbite. Join us where I'll help you find your true spiritual home, where every single aspect of you is holy ground, holy ground, holy ground, holy ground.
This is Spirit Session Podcast with Katie Silcox. Venga chicos, empezamos. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hi everyone, Katie here. This podcast is intended to inspire you, educate you, and most importantly, support you on your journey towards knowing who you really are, that inner self, that inner teacher. I am not a psychologist or a medical doctor and do not offer professional health or medical advice on this podcast. If you are suffering from any kind of psychological or medical issue, please do the right thing and seek help from your qualified health professional. What is up, everybody? It's your Gal Friday, Katie Silcox here with a special report. We cover a lot of things over here at Spirit Sessions, at the Shakti School and in Ayurveda School, and everything impacts our health. And you know me a little bit if you've been listening to the podcast. I really love the psychological, the spiritual, the kind of woo-woo stuff, but sometimes we gotta bring it down to the ground. And, imbalanced hormones, mental health issues, gut issues, fertility issues, the fact that we're seeing such a huge rise in things like autism and birth defects in women. I mean, we really need to take into consideration, as we do here at the Shakti School, this really clear connection between the chemicals that are in our food. And we had, Dr. Trevor on a few weeks ago talking about the chemicals in our makeup, the chemicals in our cleaning products. And here we are. I just feel so passionately about this. And it's something that I personally am really working to do in my own life, which is do my best not to freak out and throw out everything in my house, but at the same time get really clear on a commitment to get the chemicals out of my life and my body, which is impossible to do it completely, but we can definitely take an active role in this. So today's podcast is going to be about something very specific that I think is really important to the people who listen to my podcast, and that is, are you as madly in love with wearing leggings as I am? Yes, of course you are. We just came out of the COVID era. I think I lived probably 350 days out of 352 in some form of leggings. I'm an athletic gal. I'm wearing these things all the time. And if you're anything like me, you spend a lot of time in your workout gear. And that is why I was super annoyed to see this latest article from October 13th, CNN. High levels of toxic chemicals found in sports bras, Watchdog warns. And I scrolled down to see that they've done some testing on BPA, these chemical compounds used to make things like plastic, in our workout gear. This chemical has been linked to some gnarly things, you guys, such as asthma, cardiovascular disease, obesity. But that's not all. And BPA is not the only chemical, apparently, as I'm doing my research, in the clothing that we are wearing from so-called conscious companies, from companies that say they really want to help us become healthier humans. There are PFAs. PFAs are gnarly chemicals, perfluorinated chemicals, linked to a ton of really gnarly health problems, such as, and I'm going to say this is kind of mind-blowing, these chemicals have been shown to lower our immune system. They're linked to metabolic diseases. Oh, this is great. They're linked to reduced vaccination response. They can affect the growth, learning, and behavior of children, lower a woman's fertility, increase chances of miscarriage, increase cholesterol, lower sperm count, smaller penis size. Oh my God. The list goes on and on and on. And so, I'm thinking about some of my girlfriends out there that are struggling with health issues of fertility and hormone imbalance and, feeling like no matter what they do, they just can't lose weight that they want to lose. So I'm going to link to the CNN article, link to this really great, these studies around this stuff, and just show you guys I'm doing the research here. And I want to tell you, the sports bras they studied in the CNN article were sold by Athleta, Pink, Asics, The North Face, Brooks, All in Motion, Nike, and Fila were tested. And the results showed, I'm quoting now, the clothing could expose wearers to up to 22 times the safe limit of BPA, according to the Center of Environmental Health. The CEH, which conducted the testing, is a nonprofit consumer advocacy group. Okay, so they did this in California, of course. It's a thing, right? And they tested athletic shirts from North Face, Brooks, Mizuno, Athleta, New Balance, and Reebok and found similar results. They tested this Victoria's Secret. I'm going to link to the original article so you can read through it, but just a quote from Kaya Allen Sugarman from the study. She said, studies have shown that BPA can be absorbed through the skin and end up in the bloodstream after handling a receipt paper for a few seconds or a few minutes. So it's in our receipts that we get at the pharmacy or whatever, anywhere you buy anything. Sports bras and athletic shirts. And guys, these are the things that are closest to what? Our boobies, our underarms, our armpits. This is the famous line of Spence, right? Our milk line. It doesn't matter if you are a mama and want to breastfeed. All women have this line of Spence, and it runs directly from through the lymphatic system to your reproductive organs. And the reproductive organs, as my dear mentor, Dr. Claudia Welch says, have a, quote, particular affinity for these chemicals. So this is bad news. They looked at 90 companies, including Walgreens, and they're doing good work, right? And I used to be an ambassador for Athleta and knew some of the people there and knew one of their head designers, and these are really great people, right? And I don't think that we can automatically just assume all these companies are horrible. I know North Face does a really good job on a lot of levels for the environment. I just think it could be, hopefully, let's cross our fingers, just ignorance on the part of these companies. And it's not to absolve them of what they need to do, which is they need to correct this, because there are ways that we can create clothing that is non-toxic. Wearing organic cotton is a good place to start. And we can really do that. So I started getting into this. Okay. I was like, okay, I have to get rid of, Lululemon. So, okay. Then that led me down a rabbit hole to a great website, which I'd never heard of before. I don't know if you guys have heard of this website. It's called momavation.com. And they did a similar study. They looked at the amount of fluoride, which apparently is a good way of measuring for these PFAS, these toxic chemicals. And what they found is if you can find certain amounts of fluoride, it's a good indication that there are these bad, gnarly, forever chemicals in the pants. And they looked at yoga leggings, which is also really gnarly because the crotch area is a really great place to find these detectable fluorines. And they sent a bunch of these workout leggings, yoga pants, and athleisure stuff to the lab. And the good news is that they found that 75% of the pairs didn't have detectable levels, but 25% of them did. Detectable levels range from 10 parts per million to 284 parts per million. Brands, guys, get it together. You do not have to make leggings using PFAS. It is not essential as a chemical treatment. It should be immediately phased out. And I think we can tell these leggings companies to please do that. And we can just stop buying the leggings until they do. I mean, they need to be really, really clear about what they're putting, because we're also sweating. So I want to I'm going to link you guys to Momavation as well. Great job. Okay. So yoga pants, found that the worst ones, this is not surprising to me. The worst ones are the ones that claim to be buttery soft. And dude, I've bought more than my fair share of buttery soft leggings from the Walgreens down the road, and let me tell you, they're cozy. But I felt, after reading this, they're all, what do we do? That's the other question. Like, what do we do with all these leggings? We don't want to give them to the rescue mission so other people can, wear them. But the worst one they found was a company you may have heard of called LuLaRoe, which there's an amazing documentary about LuLaRoe. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix or one of these streaming sites, and I watched it, and it's a really problematic story of basically a pyramid scheme. Their leggings had 284 parts per million in the crotch area. So y'all out there that are listening that have those leggings, you really may want to reconsider them. So let's talk about a few other ones that they found that weren't great. Not the greatest. Athleta's Girl Chit Chat shorts had 17 parts per million. Gaiam high-rise yoga pants, 15 parts per million. Lululemon Align high-rise pant, 32 parts per million, y'all. Guys, I wear Lululemon all the time. I mean, this was a heartbreaker. But compare 17, 15, 19, and Lululemon with 32 to the LuLaRoe with 284. I mean, you're basically wearing you're off-gassing yourself every time you put those pants on with gnarly chemicals. Old Navy's athletic pants, 17 parts. And then there's a few more. I'll link you guys to their site. And then good news is there were a bunch that they found that didn't have any detected fluorine, like a couple that I recognize were Aloe. I wear a lot of their stuff, ALO, their high-waist soft flow legging, no detection. Gaps look like they were okay. And, they randomly tested some of these. Some of Nike's and Reebok's were okay. Sweaty Betty was okay. And that's great, right? But then the later CNN study shows that some of the pants from those very same places did have high levels. So what I'm going to suggest is that we really make sure that we're working with companies that really have a commitment to being transparent about what chemicals are in all of their products. So we don't have to, it's not like you and I are going to go to Nike or Athleta or Lululemon and test each of their products, because each pant can be slightly different. So I'm going to put below, I did a bunch of research on this, and I'm going to link you guys to some sites where you can get some organic leggings from companies that really seem to be doing a good job at making sure that their pants are free from chemicals. I'm also going to link you to some Amazon ones that are actually really cheap that I'm going to buy a few of and test them out. And we'll let you know how it goes. In the meantime, look for things that have organic cotton only. And, it's not to say that some can't have forms of spandex and them not be horrible for you, but feel free to do your own research. And let's just make sure that we're taking this one thing out of our lives that could be perhaps not the single cause, but a really important amount of the chemicals that we're ingesting every day, we're ingesting through our skin. All right, beauty, that has been Consumer Reports with Katie Silcox. Are our leggings making us sick? Maybe. Let's get rid of them. All right, guys, have a great day. A big special thanks to Kevin Carlisle of Goodbye Gemini, who wrote this beautiful podcast music, and to DJ Juan Pablo Jimenez in southern Spain for mixing it and making it magic.